this is Carla and welcome back to the studio, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Throwback Thursday. So for this Thursday, I will be featuring the music from the Heart stamp set. This is a $1 Million Achiever stamp set. This was designed by Don Olszewski. And so let's get started with our first card. So for my first card, I have a piece of Azure Afternoon cardstock. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4.25. And then I have a piece of basic white. This measures 5.5 by 3.75. So to start off, I'm going to bring in my Memento Tuxedo Black ink and also my Azure Afternoon. So I am going to take my black ink and my stamp that says just a note. I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp that up in this corner right here. And then I'm going to let me bring in just like a scratch piece of paper because I'm going to be stamping off of this a little bit. So in the set, there is this set of keys, and I'm going to ink this up, try and get it inked up really well. And I'm going to come over to this end of the cardstock, and I'm going to stamp it, lining it up to the very edge. And I'm going to ink it up again. I'm going to get on my tippy toes here because I want to kind of get it lined up. Kind of hard to see. I want to try and line it up along with that edge. So it went off just a little tiny bit, but it's not too bad. And then I'm going to do the same thing one more time. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my Azure Afternoon ink. And I have a few of the music notes. So I'm going to stamp each one of these like 2 different times. Move this out of the way. Don't need it anymore. And I'm going to stamp one right up here. Stamp another one down here. And then I will bring in this one. And I'll stamp that one down here. One up here. And then I'll take this note and I'll add one up here. And one right down here. Now I'll close this up because I'm done with my stamping. And I'm going to bring in my paper snips. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along the bottom edge of my keyboard. And it's going to leave a little bit of a white border. This isn't too bad to cut out. Okay, I'm going to trim a little bit more over on this side. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. I'm going to add some on here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my bone folder And I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay. And then I'm going to remove my backings. Okay. And then I'm going to add it to my card base. Now I do want to try and get this straight. Okay. Put that down. And then I'm going to bring in my pastel adhesive back sequins. These are in our current annual catalog. And I'm going to take some of these blue iridescent ones and I'm going to add some of these to my card. Very simple layout and very easy and quick to mass produce if you would like to mass produce it. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my Winkostella and I'm just going to go over these music notes with it. So for this coming Friday, on my Friday Night Live, I will be featuring the rock and roll suite of products that's currently in our January to April 2024 mini catalog. So I figure since I'm going to be doing my live with a music set, I thought why not do my Throwback Thursday with another music set that I have. I do have a few, so I may actually pull another retired music themed set in for my Thursday, my Throwback Thursday for next week. Okay, so I think I got all of these. Okay, so that is our first card. On to our second. Okay, so for my second card, I have a piece of basic black. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of basic white. This measures 5.25 by 4. And then I have a 5.5 by 4.25 inch scrap of basic black. So I'm going to start off with folding and burnishing my card base. Okay, and I'm going to set that aside. On my basic white piece, I'm going to bring in my Memento black ink, and I'm going to use the greeting that says "You rock," and I'm going to add that up near the top. Okay, that didn't. We got two sides to the cardstock, so we'll just stamp that again. Okay, much better. And then I am going to, let's see, I'm going to bring in the clef, I believe it's called. I'm going to ink that up. And let's see, I want to stamp this. Just stamp it right here because there's another piece that I'm going to stamp along next to it to make it into a guitar. I'm going to ink this piece up in my black and get that right there. I think I lined it up all right. Yep, perfect. And then I'm done with the stamping. So I'll close that up. And I'm going to bring in my dark red, my dark real red Stampin' Blend. And I'm going to color in the top here. And then the heart that's in the cleft. Okay. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it down to my card base. Okay, I'm just going to center that. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my black cardstock and I'm going to bring in my 1.5 inch circle punch and I'm going to punch out 3 of these. So this piece of cardstock probably is a little bit bigger than what I really needed. So I have excess that I can use for another project. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. Okay, and I also have a scrap piece of Daffodil Delight. I seem to have forgotten to grab some of this. So I'm going to bring in my 3/4 inch circle punch and I'm going to punch out 3 of these. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my glue. I'm going to add a little bit to the back. And I'm going to center it on each of my circles to create a record. Try and get that centered. Okay. Okay. And then we got one more. And I'll add that one right there. Okay, so I'm done with my glue. Let me close that up. And then I have a piece of foam. This foam came from, when you purchase our acrylic blocks, you can get a carrying case for them. And in the carrying case for all the openings for these blocks, they have these foam inserts that you can just pop out. So I kept them for this very purpose. So I'm going to put my records up on this and then I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool and I'm going to use the piercing end and I'm going to pierce a hole right in the middle of each of these. And hopefully I'm getting close to the middle. Okay. And I'm going to kind of flatten these a little bit so that way I can put a dimensional on the back. Actually, see, Yeah, let me bring in the dimensionals. I'll just put one on either side. If I put one in the middle over that part that I pierced, it will be a little wonky because it's not flat. I'll just add 2. Okay, so now I'm going to take my card base and my records, and I'm going to put them on my card base. So, and then I'm going to bring in, let's see, I'm going to bring in my Winkostella, and I'm going to add some of that onto my guitar. I'm going to do this in a way where I'm going to avoid trying to brush over the black ink, because I don't know if with the Winkostella if it will smear it. Okay, so we got that. And then I'm going to bring in the pastel adhesive back sequins again, and this time I'm going to use the gold ones. Add a few of these on here. Like so. Okay, so let me kind of move this stuff out of the way. Let me move this paper here, and I'll show you. This is our second card. Really, really easy to put together. And here was our first card. So as I mentioned on my Friday Night Live, this coming Friday, which will be March 1st of 2024, I will be featuring the rock and roll suite of products that's in our current mini catalog. And so I wanted to stay with the theme of music. So I can't talk. I'm sorry. So I'm using the music from the heart for this Thursday, and then for next Thursday's video, I will find another music themed stamp set that I have. I do have a few of them. So I hope you can join me tomorrow night if you are watching this on Thursday, the 29th of February. I will, like I said, I'll be featuring the rock and roll suite of products. And one of the cards that I will be creating will actually be my swap card that I will be creating for the on-stage event that's coming up in March. So if you like these projects, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It does help me in not only growing the channel, but also in growing my Stampin' Up! Business. So until next time, y'all have a blessed one. Bye-bye.